Hi guys, welcome to Love What Luck. I've just been waiting what felt like 5 minutes to start recording this episode. Real time was probably 10 seconds, but it is because I live close to an airport. I don't even know which one it is, but I can hear and see planes taking off, which is quite noisy. But more than the noise, every time I see one, I'm like, can I just hop on please? Is it holiday time yet? Like, I'm recording this, the sky's all grey, and I'm like, can we get a holiday going? I've actually booked one. I've booked one next month. I absolutely cannot wait. I think about it a lot. I think I've been away a lot this year. I think I've been away 3 times already, but none of them have been a hot holiday, and none of them have been the type of holiday where you can just sit and chill and do nothing. And that's what we've booked, just like an all-inclusive, boiling hot place, sit, chill out. We're going to Dubai, but it's in like the north of Dubai. I'm not even going to try and say the name because every single time I try and say it, it's wrong. Like, you know, I have issues with words. I call it Ras my cat. Do you know what? I actually have no idea. I literally don't know. All I know is it's a nice hotel, all-inclusive vibes, but we are going to go into Dubai just for a weekend, do like a brunch and go out. Anyway, wasn't expecting to start my podcast with this because it's weeks away, but yeah, I guess I am. To be fair, we've got lots of bank holidays coming up in the UK, which is very exciting. We've got 3, so we've got 2 at the beginning of May and then 1 at the end of May. Like, one absolute joy. I think that is probably the best thing about having royals in the country is the bank holidays that they bring. Even though I don't think the May bank holidays have anything to do with them. Obviously, you've got the coronation. Anyway, I'm going to get off that topic because no doubt I'll be speaking about that closer to the time. But yeah, we've got some breaks coming up, so that's always good. As always, I think I'm just going to go straight into the story. This story, again, as always, is a bit crazy, but I honestly think this is one of the most relatable stories. I say that, it's never actually happened to anyone I know, but I feel like even if you haven't gone through anything like this, you can kind of relate to this girl. I think we all would have behaved in exactly the same way. So it's a little bit unbelievable. Anyway, let me stop rambling and let's get straight into it. I met this guy who I thought was my Prince Charming. Everything was going well until 6 months in, I noticed he was liking this girl's Instagram pictures and I had a feeling something was going on. I stalked her Instagram and could see she'd gone to a swimming pool that day, so I just said to my boyfriend casually that I wanted to go to the same place. So smooth, by the way. I don't even know if I'd have the balls for it. I do not know if I'd have the balls to do that, so hats off to you because that's bold. She said, he literally went white and I just knew. Later that night, he called me crying, saying he didn't know if he could be with me, so I ended it. The guy, this is what I mean. There's never any honesty. Rather than just be honest, I'm going to go home and cry about it and ring you to, like, pretty much in a roundabout way tell her I can't be with you, but no reason why. Like, if she didn't know and hadn't seen the Instagram pictures, I almost think that would be worse because she would never know. Like, you'd never have any closure, and I think that's worse. I think as hurtful as it is if somebody does something like that, sometimes the closure, I don't know, it depends what type of person you are, but for me it was in my head a lot. If I don't get a closure or a reason for something happening, I'm answering all those questions in my own head, and that can be a really dark, savage place because, you know, sometimes it's easier, right? You've got an answer, okay, you can tell your mind, like, shut up, stop trying to make it out like it's anything else. This was the reason. For me, I would always rather that. That was 2020, and randomly last summer, he messaged me asking to meet up. He was apologising and saying it was his biggest mistake losing me. I shouldn't have gone, but I thought maybe he'd changed, and so I said to myself that I'd give him an hour. To be fair, easily done, and this is what I mean when I think we would all do that, because this man's had 3 years to think about his mistakes now. That was in 2020, a hard time for us all, like, lest we forget 2020, coronavirus era. It was a tough time for us. He's had 3 years to reflect. If somebody came back into my life 3 years later and was like, do you know what, that was such a mistake, like, I've had time to think, would I go and meet up with him? Absolutely. And I think most of us would. If you had feelings, proper feelings for him at the time. As soon as I saw him, I felt the spark was still there, and we started seeing each other again. You can just imagine kind of walking in, seeing the spark and being like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. He went on his holiday to Spain, but was FaceTiming me every night from there. I told him he didn't even need to and to just enjoy himself. Then one night he called me and he was really, really drunk. I told him to just go home and I went to sleep. At 4:30 a.m, I woke up out of my sleep in a boat. Can I just say, this is going to be a big segue and I'm sorry, but is there no worse feeling than waking up from like a nightmare or waking up like in your bed like that? My first immediate thought when that happens to me is that there's a ghost. And I don't know why, but I'm always like, there must be something else going on in this bedroom and my body is waking me up because it's like afraid or it's telling me to be alert. So my first thought is there's a spirit in the room. Or obviously if you've had a nightmare. I had one the other night, I can't remember what it was, but something was happening and I was able to wake myself out of it. And I hate those types of nightmares where you're like, you know it's a nightmare and you're trying to wake yourself up. And I would love to see what I look like, but you must be able to see that you're moving, because in your dream you can feel yourself trying to move to get out of the nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Oh my god, how many times can I say nightmare in one sentence? I messaged him and he was online but never replied. I went onto his Instagram. I left that was the next immediate thing, like, he's online, he hasn't messaged me, let's go to Instagram. But she was right, you know. I went onto his Instagram and saw he'd followed this girl. When I checked, the girl had been in the same club with him that night. Honestly, Instagram gives the receipts. Instagram will not let you get away with shit. Like, it is there. If you're savvy enough, you can find stuff out. Like, I remember before, my ex looking at the story of the nightclub I was in, something I would never even think of doing, but this is a top tip if you want to stalk somebody on a night out. Looking at the Instagram story of a club, so it means that every single person that was in that club, if they put a story up and tag it, you can see it. And some random guy had grabbed my hand and spun me round, and that was literally it. We didn't talk, nothing. No one, like when you're out drinking and he literally grabbed my hand, spun me round, I had a drink, yeah, spun around, that was it. He videoed it, Lord knows why, put it on the Instagram, tagged the story, and then my ex-boyfriend saw it, and he was not the type of boyfriend that would appreciate that, clearly, as he was searching for video evidence of me in the club. But it caused such an argument, and I was like, wait, like, I haven't done anything, and I haven't even recorded anything. Like, I didn't even think I put anything up of me in the club, yet there it was. Like, honestly, the internet and social media is wild, and it's a dangerous place. Sorry, recap. So she sees he's online, has a reply, goes on to his Instagram, saw he'd followed a girl that was in the same club with him. I asked him about it the next day, just if they'd met anyone out, etc. But he said nothing happened, it was just the boys. Also got to interrupt you to say, it's never just the boys, is it? And it's also never just the girls. I think the chances of going on a night out as a group of guys or as a group of girls and not having any interaction with anybody else is very unusual. It happens, to be fair, it does happen depending on the night. But if you're on a big night out, especially on a holiday, you chat to people and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Like, you can literally just talk. So I feel like that's a bit of a red flag. Like, no, we didn't speak to anyone. Again, I had to do this with another ex-boyfriend who was equally as controlling. Love that for me. And he used to ask me after every night out, like, I think I said this story before, did anyone look at you? Did anyone talk to you? And I was like, no. Obvious lies, because yeah, people used to look at me, and yeah, I used to talk to people, but I still wasn't doing anything wrong. I was literally just saying hi. But it's more of a red flag if you say no, even though I was saying no then. Like, that's not the point. I was saying no because I knew it would cause an argument, but he's saying no because he thinks it's going to cause an argument / because he knows he's done something wrong. I'm just whapping out the red flags to you guys today. A week later, I get a message from him telling me he's in Spain. I had no clue about this trip, so I asked him who he was with. He didn't respond until the next morning. I'm sorry, what? That is not okay. And he just said he was going to sort stuff out in a family villa and apologised for not telling me. Mate, don't apologise for not telling me. Apologise for not inviting me. Hun, do you not think I want to be in Spain, flamenco dancing, eating paella, chilling out with you? I'll even help with the family villa, like get me a brick and some cement. I will help you out if it means going to Spain. I won't bother you if that's what you want and leave you do your thing. I'll chill in the day. But please at least invite me. If you're going there by yourself to do some work, invite me, Hans. That would be the thing that I would be most upset about. Can you hear that plane taking off, by the way? That's how often people are going away and on holidays, just FYI. Okay, so the guy's in Spain, she doesn't know, but okay, she accepts it. Then my friend called me and told me to check his Instagram immediately. He posted a picture of the girl that he followed from the trip a week before. He actually posted a picture of her. So he had gone to Spain without even telling his girlfriend, told her when he was there, just as like, look, an FYI, I can't see you because I'm in a different country. And then for some reason, whilst he was there, decided to blow all cover and all lie and go full public with this random girl that he'd met a week before in the club in Spain. I swear that is what holiday romances do to you. Holiday romances just make you feel like real life doesn't exist. You've got a boyfriend, you've got a job, none of it matters. You haven't got money, doesn't matter. Nothing matters when you're on holiday for that week. Sometimes the holiday can get into your veins and it makes people crazy. There's something in the water when people go on holidays, I swear. They just like forget about real life back home. I messaged him straight away, obviously, and after a few angry messages back and forth, he replied with, "You need to stop this, I'm out for dinner." I cannot. This is what gets me, right, the most with these stories, and as much as I like joke about it, it is so beyond hurtful to be in love with somebody and think that they're one way, and not only do that, so not only has he gone and cheated on her and done it quite publicly, he is not sorry. And that for me is just like the double hurt, because how can somebody that you love and you've been with for however long change so quickly towards you? That I think is like something really, really hard to comprehend. And like, I see that with so many stories I've been sent in where they've been married for like 10 years and they've had an affair and he just comes home, yeah, no, it's done. And they're not even like apologetic. And it's scary. It's scary how humans can just change like that. It's horrible. It's actually horrible. So yeah, he was out for dinner with the girl the whole time that we were arguing, and then had the audacity to get sick of it and tell her to shut up, basically. She said she messaged the girl to tell her and then blocked him, and that was that. And, well, I didn't even know what to say to that, because how could she ever see that coming? Like, the people that say, oh, once a cheat, always a cheat, I genuinely don't believe that. I think when people cheat, most of the time it's a reflection on themselves and something that they are going through. It can also be a reflection on the relationships. If the relationship's in a bad place, then they can cheat, or if somebody's not on the right, you know, vibe. And yeah, sometimes people cheat and it's done, or sometimes people cheat because they obviously don't care, and that's that. But I think in terms of second chances, I really don't believe that like somebody will just cheat notoriously over and over and over again, because circumstances change. They can feel better about themselves, the relationship can get better, it can open things up and be like, actually I wasn't happy with this and that's why I did it. And there's plenty of stories where people get back with cheaters. So if I was her, and this is what I mean by saying, like, I think most people would have just behaved exactly the same way. 3 years have passed, you're coming back into my life. Like, she even said, like, when he was on holidays, don't worry about FaceTiming me all the time. Like, she said, because she actually voice noted me the story, she said that she could tell that he was FaceTiming her all the time to like make her feel better, make her feel like calm and at ease, and she was like, don't worry about it. So even her herself is like trusting him. Obviously she knows to go on Instagram straight away because that's what he did before. So that's just the brain being clever. But she obviously like trusted him, and I just think it's like the Cardi B. What was the reason? What was the reason? Why? Why invite me back into your life? That's the biggest confusion to me. If you cheat in a relationship and you try to do the relationship again straight away, I think, okay, differently. But to let 3 years pass and then like openly invite me back into your life and 6 months later do the same thing again, 6 months later, when the only thing you said was wrong was like making a mistake, that just makes no sense to me. I already know he's not in a relationship with this girl from Spain. I didn't even need to ask. I already know he's not. So obviously, like, I don't know, was he just not ready for the relationship? But then why be in one? Why? Boredom, maybe? Was that it? He was just like, do you know what? Let me chat to that girl from 3 years ago. It's just honestly makes no sense. But this is something, you know, I was thinking about this the other week, and it actually ties in perfectly with this, because no, I said then, like, oh, do people just cheat or do that because they're not ready for the relationship at the time, which is a big thing. But does that mean, right, typically, I'm going to go with the average age, I think it's anywhere between like late 20s and 40s. Obviously, don't get offended by this because people meet people at all different stages of their lives. But say on average, the person or a person wants to settle down when they're around 30. I feel like that's the sort of societal expectation. It's always like around 30. Does that mean that you then end up with somebody that, like, do you know, they tick all the boxes you're looking for at the time, and you're 30 and you settle down, and that's like when you become like loyal and more into it, and that's the biggest reason is that you're ready rather than it being a good match? Do you get me? So like what I'm saying is, if this guy had met this girl 10 years later when he'd got like all this partying out of his system and the cheating and, you know, the need or want to like want to be single, if they met then, would they stay together? I find it like a fascinating question, and obviously I love love and I'm a super romantic, so I don't believe it. But then on the flip side, I think like if I met my boyfriend when I was 20, or anywhere between the age of like 20, I gotta say 25 actually, because 25 is when I really started to like let loose and live my life. If I'd met him at 25, I would love to think that we'd still be together, but it would be such a different relationship and a different dynamic because you have to be ready as well. And equally, like, if I'd met, I actually googled and I looked into this, right, like the typical age that people meet somebody, and Match.com, you know, the dating site, they did a survey on 2,000 people to see, like, on average what age people meet the one, just because I was curious. And they said, again, this is like only on this survey, so don't take it to heart, but they said on average a woman meets the one at 25 and a guy meets the one at 28. And I think back to my partner that I had at 25, who was great, but I so was not ready for a relationship. And I'm like, I wonder if we met now, would the relationship have been different? I'm not saying he's the one, obviously, but it's so interesting. I guarantee it would have been like less toxic and up and down. There's so many factors go into it, doesn't it? Like, I guarantee it would be less up and down. I still didn't think he was the one, like, obviously, like, and I wouldn't have married him, but I know that we would have lasted longer if I met now. But then on the flip side, I also feel like the older you get, the less time you waste with somebody. I don't know. I definitely don't think that statistic's true, because obviously I'm 31 now. And I definitely didn't meet the one at 25, but you can like go down a big rabbit hole, you know, with these thoughts, and it's probably best you done. But you can. It's just like, it's like that whole sliding doors film, which, like, I love that theory, you know, with Gwyneth Paltrow. I've definitely spoken about it before, where she goes to meet a train, goes to make a train, and the doors close in front of her, and that leads on to one life scenario, and then in the other scenario she makes the train, and it's literally like a parallel world of like how different her life can be if she made the train and if she didn't. And that is just literally what life is like, oh, if I was ready, then maybe this would have happened. If I was older and if I lived in this certain place, then this would have happened. But you can get into a rabbit hole, and I do think it's true. But also I'm just a romantic, and I just think that the person that you're meant to be with, you'll find each other at the right time. And you might think like, oh, I wish we could have been together 10 years ago, I wish we had 10 years longer together. But there's a reason that it didn't work out at that time, and there's a reason for everything. And ultimately that is what I like to believe. So screw your stats. match.com, because love will find you when it's meant to. A little cheesiness this week. So actually I don't think I spoke about this, but randomly last week I went on a date night. I'm in a relationship. I had a date night and I was like, you know what, let's go and play, well, not play golf, but let's go to the driving range. My boyfriend loves golf, and like me and the girls, so basically like the group of guys and then the girlfriends, we all take the piss out of them because like golf is life and we're always like, oh my god, boring. But randomly I just felt like going to the driving range, for any of my non-golfing girls out there, is basically when you like hit the balls off the, just like off a side thing. And I was like, you know what, there's something about that. I was picturing like music. It was a Friday night, it's going to be dark, it was a nice night, let's go for food first, have a few drinks, we can have a drink when we're there, going to be music, top golf vibes, which like is everywhere. And I just think there was something about the idea of like bashing the balls out that I just found was going to be quite therapeutic to me. I turned up, not a single song playing. It was like light. I turned up, I was like, oh, I'm literally practicing golf. I'm practicing for a golf tournament that I'm never going to play. I was like, this is just not what I imagined. Anyway, obviously we still had drinks and stuff. My boyfriend put a glove on his hand and I was like, cringe. Why are you putting a glove on your hand? Like, it's just a Friday night activity. Well, let me tell you, we did it for an hour. I cut all my hand. All my hand is cut, you know, like when people lift weights and they like pinch that part of their skin, like underneath your third ring finger, fully cut. I suddenly had like a new load of respect for golfers. There was so much more than went into it. I couldn't even hit the ball for the first like at least 10 minutes. I was hitting the floor. I was like, how am I missing this? I'm so good at crazy golf. It is not the same. It is a sport. And yeah, just had to bring that to the pod. Be careful if you ever go to the driving range, because it's not going to be what you expect. I would still like to go to the one like in Dubai or somewhere though, where there is music and I think it's like a little bit more vibey. But yeah, later it's going to be a little bit more of my date night this week, and I'm going to go for some nice lunch and a little bit of shopping. So I'm excited for that. Oh, do you know what else I actually have to tell you about? This has been going on for weeks for me. And it's the weirdest thing, right? Recently, and I'm talking at least 10 times at least, I keep dreaming about whales, the animal, and it's in all different scenarios. There's lots of shots of them. It's mainly humpback whales, lots of shots of them jumping out the water, but also like lots of dreams where the waves are coming and I'm drowning. Again, so many drowning dreams. Humpback whales are constant. I've had a few orcas, and last night I had my first sighting of a beluga whale, which, you know, those like white ones without the fins? That was random. And it's so bizarre to me that I keep getting this recurring dream. So obviously I googled it, and it said that the appearance of a whale in a dream can signify that everything is or will be okay, and is often related to spiritual matters of the mind and heart. I love that, because my dream started with drowning, and obviously when I googled that it was like overwhelming, like anxious, too much on your mind, like panicking, you know, like all the bad stuff. Like if you dream about drowning, it's never going to be good, is it? So it definitely started with that, but then like gradually they were changing from me being in the water. When I tell I'm not even lying, this like fully sounds like a lie, but it is not. It's actually been wild. It went from me being like in the water and feeling like coming and seeing the wave come over me, and then like jumping up wherever out of a nightmare, or feeling like I'm drowning. I've even been under the water once, like feeling like I'm drowning. It changed. So then I think I was on a boat, and the wave was coming, but I was behind a glass door, which I think is really good, so I've been saved. And then, like I said, last night I dreamt about a beluga whale, and that was literally just like a fun sighting of it. Like I just saw a beluga whale and it was fun. So I think that's pretty big. And then what was really weird, I can't even believe I'm telling you this story, but I listened to the Shits and Gigs podcast, and on my 65th episode, I was like, I'm going to listen to their 65th episode. I don't know why, but I just think when I see other people with podcasts like smashing it, obviously that's a motivator for me, and sometimes I like to see like where they started, where they were at, you know. It's just like a nice little thing for me to do, basically, for myself. I listened to the 65th episode of Shits and Gigs. They were talking about whales. I was like, oh my god, they're actually talking about how scary and stuff they were, but I was like, what does this mean? Why do I keep seeing whales everywhere? And then when I googled it and that came up, it's to signify that everything is or will be okay. I just thought, how lovely is that? And even the picture, I'm going to show if you're watching on YouTube, it's like a lovely little illustration of a whale with a moon out. It's so cute. It also says a whale's appearance can identify that person as trustworthy and good-spirited, which is me, guys. So yeah, I thought that was really sweet. If you're dreaming about whales, then it's a good, lovely thing. Just don't dream about drowning beforehand. Right, last week, you might remember, did I mention on the podcast actually? Oh yeah, so last week's podcast episode was about the guy cheated on her, like was awful to this girl, and then like a year or however long later came back into her life as a fully formed Catholic and apologised, right? And it was obviously quite a humorous story to me. So I put it on my Instagram and I asked you guys, I'm at Sadie Maltby or at Love.Luck, come and follow me, side note. I asked you guys on Instagram, what ways did your ex come back into your life? And the answers I got, they were good. So I thought I'd gotta share them on this week's episode. Ways your ex has come back into your life. Added me on Facebook one day before his wedding. What is it with pre-wedding jitters that make people act crazy? I've heard so many stories about that. It's like before they go into this wedding, they think their life is over and they need to just like check up on every ex-girlfriend. And can I just say, why? Because the amount of stories I've been sent of fully married people having affairs, is it that big a deal at this point for you? You might as well just not bother. Just a message at the old time. I moved to Dubai to get away from him and he moved into the building next door. I don't really know what to say to that one. Asked me over his house to watch a film and then ghosted me. Again? Why? What was the reason? What was the reason? Both moved to Ibiza to get away from each other and ended up back together. I think that's quite a cute one. I think that's a cute one. He sent me a transformation picture. Sir, why? What makes you think I would need to see that? But you know what, that was my instant reaction, but I also think it's like quite sweet because he's obviously really proud of himself, and I don't know, I feel like I need more context of the breakup to know why he sent that. Was it to be like, look, I'm so hot now, and like a dickish way, or was it like, look, I've done this, I'm really proud of myself, will you take me back? Either way, it could be quite a cute one though. Not that that would ever work though. I can't ever imagine somebody getting a transformation pic of their ex, looking in better shape and being like, do you know what? Let's go again. And actually, if they did do that, why would you want that? Like, oh what, now I've lost 2 stone, you want to be back with me? No thanks, you should love me for me. Not because now I've suddenly got abs. Like, ew. Why would you even want to do it? Very strange. Turning up at my doorstep at 3 AM, I'm still wondering what he wanted. I think we all knew what he wanted there. I think we all knew. But well done for not finding out. That suggests that she never answered the door, so we respect that. Messaged asking if I was okay after he saw some pictures of me at an event. Of course he did. Of course he messaged you when you were looking hot. He's become my gym partner. I have a lot of questions around this. My main one is why. I can't think of anything worse than that. Somebody said on a broom. So that's nice, calling your ex a witch. We still share our dog 18 months later and holiday together. Again, I have a lot of questions around that. Does the dog come on the holiday with you, and does the dog really need a holiday? Or is the dog an excuse? Because that's what it sounds like. Like, oh yeah, Penny really needs to go to the south of France this summer to just like stick her head out the window. We're gonna have to take her together. I just don't know if I believe that. I think you're probably gonna end up back together, and when you do, please do send me the story because I would love to hear it. Started working in the same place as my best friend. Oh, I hate that. And also it's so awkward for the best friend, because if he gets with somebody in the office or chats about something, or she overhears him saying, oh yeah, my ex was crazy, or like any like dickish stuff, the friend's in such an awkward position to be like, do you want to know? Do I tell her? Like, ugh, it's just bad. Never, I hope. Fair. Liked to pick on Insta, got back chatting, he planned a date and then ghosted me. Why? Imagine being ghosted by your ex. Like, what's the point? We've broken up once before. Just break my heart again. Just tell me and break my heart again so we can move on. Don't ghost me. I deserve more than that. Come on now. Hopefully never after her performance. Sigh. Got a job where I worked in order to reconnect. That just seems like a lot of hassle, you know? Just try and message her. Do we really need to be changing jobs and changing careers? It's a lot there. And what about like if she doesn't want to reconnect, then you're just stuck in the office with her, watching her from afar. So awkward. The last one I've got for you is actually really happy and really cute. Texted me support when I needed it most. 3 years on, we're together and so happy. So a little happy ending story there for exes. I'm trying to think. I don't think I know anybody personally that has like got back with an ex and, you know, and it's worked out. But I definitely know people that have got back together after they split up because of cheating. So I guess that's kind of the same thing. But yeah, that's interesting. I think that does show again how important timing is and when you're ready for stuff. Like if you love somebody but like there's components that are not right, sometimes it's not that the love wasn't there, you just have to wait for the circumstances to get better. Something very interesting to think about. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Please, 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 I'm late putting this in, so I hope you've stuck around until the end. Please come and follow me on Spotify. You know I'm doing a giveaway when I reach 1,000 followers, sorry. I'm also going to do the giveaway when I reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've started to vlog this week actually, which has been really nice. So come and subscribe there, or subscribe if you're watching, obviously. Come and follow me because the giveaway is going to be good. We keep growing. Help me grow. Please get out to more people. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends. Comment your friends, tag your friends in my reel, etc, etc. Just help a gal out. And please, if you're on Spotify, please leave me a review. Oh, and Apple actually, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave me a review, my god, please leave me a review. Obviously 5 stars is preferable. And yeah, you know I say it every week, it makes my day when I see those numbers go up and those reviews. I absolutely love it and I'm so, so grateful. So yeah, please do keep on sending me your stories, anything you want to talk to me about. I am getting through my DMs slowly and surely. So I will always get back to you and I will always share your story if I say I'm going to. And also, if anybody wants to give me some feedback, right, last week I cut so much out of last week's episode. I was chatting about loads of stuff and then I listened to it back and I was like, who wants to hear this? Like, who wants to hear me just chat? And I cut out so much of it. And this week I feel like I've just chatted and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just being in a different mindset, but I'm like, yeah, I'm going to leave it in. So can you just let me know? I might have to do a poll actually on Instagram. I've definitely done a poll before, being like, do you just want love stories? Do you want me to chat? And the poll then said a bit of both, but I feel like since then I've got a lot more listeners. So yeah, either let me know your thoughts or maybe I should do a poll actually. Stay tuned. I'll see how confident I'm feeling to do that poll on Instagram. Because sometimes I did that poll and it was like, no, stick to love stories, nobody cares about your life. It's sometimes a bit like, okay, I need the feedback and I appreciate it, but that means I've bored God knows how many people for, what are we on, like 35 minutes? And I've wasted people's time and then I feel bad there's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, I'm going to actually wrap it up because now I am rambling. So yeah, come and let me know your thoughts. As always, I do love chatting to you guys. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you next week.